Welcome everyone back to another Dragalia Lost video. My name is D-Free. Here today, we are going to go over some tips, I will say, for Trick or Treasure, the event currently live on the game, the Halloween event. So I did some digging on the internet and found out a lot of different tips that I wanted to give you guys. And of course, if I forget anything, you know, I'm only human, but hopefully this was helpful nonetheless. But if I forget anything, feel free to comment it down below, and of course check out other people's comments, because maybe there are things that I just simply don't know that could be helpful for you guys, of course, in your quest to farm up all the currency in this. But the number one, hands down, number one tip for this is, well, you need to make sure that you're leveling up your, what's it called? Sweet Retreat, I believe, in your Hellium. So as far as this is concerned, this is the most important thing. Mine is currently leveling up. So the way that this breaks down is it allows for your characters to do bonus damage. There is an event effect that applies to all of your characters. Boost damage dealt to enemies in Trick or Treasure quests by 60% currently. This does further on increase. Now, aside from that, the 4% and 2.5% is only for light attuned characters. So be aware of that, because that's pretty much the same as like a light altar, a regular light altar. For example, I have one over here that's currently in training because I haven't used a whole lot of light characters, but this one right here is offering that stat boost to those characters. So again, per normal, just make sure you're leveling up these things here just to make your adventurers better in general, but also please make sure that you level this up, because you kind of have to anyway, because to take on certain content, you have to level this up beyond certain levels to take on different events. You know, let's say level up to level 5 or whatever the case is. So make sure you're doing that, because it is the most important thing, because it, for one, allows you to play different stages, and it helps out in terms of all the damage that you do on this event. So again, on the internet, they were saying that it pretty much, the boost that it does applies to everyone. But the other ones, again, are only for light characters. So moving on from that, of course, per normal, the most important things you can have are light characters. Light characters are the ones that do the most damage on this event, because pretty much every character you're going to face on this event is a dark/shadow attribute character. So since that's the case, you know, you do have the type advantage against them, so you'd be able to do the increased damage. But of course, aside from that, your regular adventurers can do good. The good news is everyone else will take and deal neutral damage, because light and dark are on their own little grid there as far as type advantages are concerned. Now, as far as this event goes, there are several ways that you guys can earn, you know, stuff from playing it. So there's a Trick or Treat rewards and there's a treasure trade. So unlike the previous event, the exchange area of this event, you know, it doesn't have the whole little separate gacha that you would summon on. For example, the previous event had Pele there, or Pelo, however you pronounce it. You would get the currency, you would summon on that banner and get various things, trying to get the worm print and the dragon. This isn't like that. So it also had another exchange, by the way, but we're not talking about that. Nonetheless, you grind up the 4 different types of event currencies and exchange them for various things. For example, here, Plunder Pals, you would need 50 of the Jack chocolates. So as far as these go, there are different stages that you would want to farm these from, by the way, but again, they are used for various things. So as far as the items that are available here, just be aware that, for example, Plunder Pals is really good because of the fact that it does allow you to boost the number that you grind or you get per stage, right? Plus 25% to Snack-O-Lanterns, increases Snack-O-Lantern intake for clearing quests by 25%. There's also the Trick or Treat one, increases intake for clearing the quest by 25%. So everything I've read says that these do stack, by the way, so be aware of that. I could be mistaken, but everything I've read online says that they do. And of course, you do have the ones from the gacha that allow you to increase your drop, I think, by 50% for Trick or Treats, so that's pretty cool as well. But again, the game does tell you like how to acquire on these, but it's not as conducive as some of the other how to acquires are concerned. But it tells you just take on the event for Trick or Treasure pretty much. So moving on from that, the most important things that I would say, especially if you're kind of struggling, would be to, again, upgrade your castle, also upgrade a light adventurer, also equip them with a light attuned weapon. As you see, you can get 5 copies of the Jack-O-Lance, which means that you would be able from there to unbind the weapon, of course, and proceed with it. So make sure you pick up one of these. And of course, if you have a light dragon, you're good to go. So the more the merrier, right? So of course, there's another light weapon down there too. You also, if you pick up the new adventurer from the gacha, that's another thing to keep in mind too. They also have various lightworm scales down here, so those are nice to have as well. But moving on, I wanted to, before we get out of here, point out a few things for you guys. So I'm not done farming the event myself. Per normal, there is a Trick or Treat rewards here. I shouldn't say per normal, but how this one works is when you take on a stage, when you complete it, it gives you rewards. So each stage seems to have a base number of points that you get, right? And then from there, there's a list of bonuses. So make sure you're paying attention to the list of bonuses, by the way, and try to meet those requirements. It'll say, like, clear without losing anybody, or clear it within a certain amount of time, or things like that. And it gives you more points. For example, it'll be like, for just brief example, you get 300 base points for completing it. Another requirement would be clear without losing any adventurers. You get another 5% on top of that, and so on and so forth, which ultimately allows you to farm these here. So you get more trick-or-treats by doing that. So, of course, there are a number of rewards you can pick up. There's the Plunder Pals. I'm pretty close to it myself. And then from there, there's a Summon Voucher and various other things. So, again, this is solely from my experience anyway, completing the stages. So one thing you guys might have noticed is it seems like a lot of this stuff is non-available in co-op. So keep that in mind. Pretty much none of this is available in co-op, unlike the previous event. But as you see, they do drop different things. So we now have the ability to get the candy baskets and Jack Chocolates and Snack-O-Lanterns all on one stage. So the deeper you go, the better it gets. I was over on the Reddit, and they did have a list for like how to farm these and best places to farm these, so I'm going to read those off really quickly. But again, shout out to the Dragalia Lost Reddit. So they said for Snack-O-Lanterns, best farm from boss battle stages, Squash the Pumpkin, and Revenge of the Pumpkin. So we see Revenge is right here. This is the best stage to pick up Snack-O-Lanterns. So keep that in mind. Anyways, Jack Chocolates, their best farm from Halloween Horrors. So that's this one right here. So that's the best place to get Jack Chocolates, apparently, according to the Reddit, assuming you can get to the last wave at least. Yeah, it's kind of hard to get deep into this. So if you can get deep, you're good to go. Anyways, candy baskets are best farm from Halloween Horrors again, so be aware of that. Halloween Horrors, it seems to be a really good stage if you can get deep into it, which I got to wave 4, I think, something like that. Anyways, the trick-or-treats, best farm from Halloween Horrors as well. But of course, you do have the worm prints for Snack-O-Lanterns and trick-or-treats, including the worm prints from the gacha that you could pick up otherwise. So that is pretty much the entirety of this event. So there's not really much else to it. You can definitely do it without having access to the units that are summoned on this new banner. But again, the more the merrier, like I was saying. The more light characters you have, the better you are off. But again, I can't stress enough that your most important function is to getting your castle leveled up, the new one that you built for this event right here. So the Sweet Return. So make sure you're doing that. Because again, the boost apparently is for everybody. The damage boost is for all elements. Only the HP and strength buff is for light characters. So this is going to help you out a ton when it comes to boosting your characters and just proceeding with the event. Of course, this part only applies to this event. It's not going to be something you'll be able to use forward. But this part up here seems to just function always as, again, a light altar. So thank you for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hit that subscribe if you are new for more content. And we will be back tomorrow with another video. We're going to go through some summons on the current banner and maybe get some good stuff. I've actually already done the summon video, but that'll go up tomorrow. Other than that, make sure you join the Discord. Link is down below in the description for some more Dragalia Lost talk among other peoples of the community. So have an awesome day, and I'll catch all of you in the next one. And huge shout out again to the Reddit for helping me find some of these tips out. Take it easy, guys. I'm going to get back to grinding because I have a lot to do myself.